So today we're going to look at how to bring OPC DA data into your data model. So we're going to go into the data model designer to begin. And in the model here I have a pump with a flow rate property on it already. So I'm going to pop into assets and create a new instance of that pump. So that'll be pump 1, 2, 3. And next we go to data mapping. So for those of you with Status Enterprise, your data connector service is going to be on localhost, port 21000. For those of you with Status Device Cloud, you actually have two data connector services that you can work with. There's one that's running in the cloud, and the URI to that service is in your account settings. Or if you're using OPC DA, you can connect to a data connector service that's running local. And you will need to do that because OPC DA does not run through the internet. So you cannot use your data connector service that's in the cloud. You need to use the one that's local. So once we connect to our data connector service, we want to say that we want to create a new data mapping configuration. And we're going to select OPC DA. Now there's two OPC clients here. Originally B-Scada used libraries from the OPC Foundation. We did find there were some servers that would not work with, so we implemented a second OPC DA client that uses some commercial libraries. And that's the one you should try to use because it works better than the one from the OPC Foundation. OPC Foundation, you may run into some connection issues from time to time. The one from the commercial one is much more reliable for connectivity. So we're going to connect to that OPC DA client, and we're going to browse for our local OPC servers. Now, when you go to this browse, you might get an error. Now, if you get an error, the reason is that you need to install the OPC Core Components. And these core components allow you to browse for OPC servers. So if on that browse you get an error, you want to pop in and install those OPC Core Components, and then that should work fine. So I'm going to select Graybox Simulator. So this is an OPC server that I'm going to use for data. And my server is going to be the Status Enterprise server that we want to do our data mappings with. So for those with Status Device Cloud, it'll be your device cloud address. For those that are running Status Enterprise, it'll be your local host. And most of the time, this will automatically be set up to localhost anyway, so you usually don't need to worry about it for those people running Status Enterprise. So once I've got my server and my provider selected, I can click Connect to configure my mappings. And under Mappings, we need to map our live data to properties on our pumps. So I've got pump 1, 2, 3 here. I'm going to select the value of the flow rate property. And for my OPC DA items, I've got a sine wave that I'm going to connect to that's a double. And once I have these selected, I want to map this property to this property in my model. So I can right click almost anywhere, say Add Mapping. And that mapping is now in place. So as this property changes in OPC DA, it's going to update this property in the data model. Now right now the data is going to server, which means it's going from OPC DA to the status server. If you want that information to go two ways, where a change in the model will come back into the OPC DA data source, you can select two-way. And then in the case of, maybe we had an is on property for the pump, if we turn that property on in the model, the data connector service will move that true value from the model to that property in our OPC server. So right now we're just doing to server, and I'm going to close window. And one thing you need to do, make sure, is you actually save your configuration here. It's not going to take effect until you save it. And there's some other settings we have here. Reconnect, heartbeat, some deadband information. So I'm going to close the model designer now, and I'm going to launch the model browser. This is the app that we use to walk through our system and take a look at what properties and things we have going on, trends and things like that. So I bring up the property table and I can see that I have some live OPC DA coming into the software. I can see it's got good quality, and I'll leave it at that. That's an introduction to using OPC DA data with your data connector.